The next time something hurts, watch how little you have to do about it. A headache builds behind your eyes, and you walk to a cabinet, shake 2 white tablets into your palm, swallow them with a mouthful of water, and inside half an hour, the thing that was wrong has simply been switched off. You twist an ankle, and there is ice, there's a bottle, there's a clinic down the road if it is bad. Pain, for you, is a problem with a known answer. It is temporary by default. You have never once had to ask the real question. What do you do when it hurts and there is nothing anywhere that will make it stop? Take the cabinet away. Take the bottle, the clinic, the cold pack, the very idea that a hurt is supposed to end on a schedule. You are a human being tens of thousands of years back, and you have broken a bone, or a tooth has gone bad, or something inside you has turned against you in the night. There is no tablet. There is no one whose job it is to fix you. There is only the pain and the fact that it is not going to be switched off by anything you own, and the long stretch of time you are going to have to spend inside it. And the first thing to understand is that this was not rare. This was the texture of an entire life. We carry a quiet assumption that our ancestors were basically like us minus the pills, occasionally unlucky enough to get hurt. The truth is closer to the reverse. Pain was not the exception in an ancient life. It was the weather, worn teeth, healed and half-healed fractures, joints ground down by decades of hard use, infections that came and stayed, the ordinary agony of childbirth with nothing to take the edge off. The bones we dig up are a record of bodies that hurt often and kept going anyway. A person living back then was not someone who occasionally met pain. They were someone who lived alongside it the way you live alongside the sound of traffic. So the real question is not how they made the pain stop. Mostly they could not. The question is how a creature surrounded by pain, it could not switch off, manage to survive it, function through it, and not be broken by it. And the answer comes in 3 layers, each stranger than the last. The first layer is the one nobody expects, because it was not a plant or a tool or a trick passed down by elders. It was built into the body itself. Before our ancestors found a single remedy in the world around them, they were already carrying a pharmacy inside their own skin, one you are carrying right now, and have almost certainly felt without knowing what it was. You have felt it on the day something went badly wrong. The moment of a real injury. A deep cut, a hard fall, a break is often strangely painless at first. People walk on shattered ankles. Soldiers carry wounded friends without noticing their own bleeding. The agony arrives later, once the danger has passed. That gap is not luck. It is design. The body, at the instant of serious harm, floods itself with its own chemicals, the ones the word opium was later borrowed to describe, and they do exactly what the white tablets in your cabinet do, except faster and for free. They blunt the edge of pain long enough for the animal to do the one thing that matters in that moment. Get away, get safe, survive the next 5 minutes. Your ancestors met their worst injuries with a built-in dose of relief already running through them. The first painkiller humans ever used was the one the body made on its own. But that internal flood fades, and the deep ache that follows can last for weeks. For that, early humans turned outward to the second layer, the world itself. And here is where the bones surprise us again. We imagine our ancestors as helpless against sickness and injury, but the evidence shows people reaching, deliberately, for what worked. The bark of certain willows contains the same active ingredient that sits inside the headache tablet you take today, and humans across the world chewed that bark for pain long before anyone could name the chemistry. There is a neanderthal, dug up in a cave, with dental plaque still clinging to his teeth, and trapped in that plaque, traces of that very bark and of a mold that produces a natural antibiotic. A sick Neanderthal, with no science and no words for any of it, was medicating himself with the 2 things a modern pharmacy is partly built on. They did not understand why these things worked. They understood that they worked, watched, remembered, and passed it on. Now, the myth worth killing. We assume that without medicine, a serious injury back then was simply a death sentence, that the hurt and the helpless were left behind to die. The ground says otherwise, and it is one of the most moving things archaeology has ever found. Again and again, we dig up skeletons of people who survived catastrophic injuries: a withered, useless arm, a leg broken and badly healed, a person blind or unable to chew, and lived for years afterward. You do not survive years with a body that cannot fully feed or defend itself unless other people are feeding you, sheltering you, carrying you. Those healed bones are not evidence of medicine. They are evidence of care. Someone stayed. Someone shared the food with the one who could no longer hunt for it, which points straight at the third and deepest layer of how humans bore the unbearable. And it was never a substance at all. The third layer was each other. Pain, it turns out, is not only a thing that happens in the body, it is a thing that happens in the mind that holds the body, and the same hurt is not the same when you are alone with it as when someone is sitting beside you. Modern research keeps confirming what our ancestors lived by instinct. A person in pain who is held, spoken to, attended by someone who cares for them, genuinely feels that pain less. The presence of another human is not a distraction from suffering, it is a measurable dampener on it. When a hand holds yours through the worst of it gets smaller. So picture the real scene, the one the bones are pointing at. Not a lone sufferer biting down on a stick in the dark, but a person hurt and surrounded. Others close in, others keeping the fire up, others bringing water and willow bark and staying through the night so the injured one is not left alone inside it. That circle of people was, in the most literal sense, a treatment. It did not just comfort the patient. It lowered the pain. The group was the medicine. And there was one more thing the group gave that no chemical can: meaning. A pain you understand is easier to carry than a pain that seems random and pointless, and humans are the animal that turns suffering into story. The injury became a thing endured for the others, the scar became something earned, the recovery became a tale the group told back to you about your own toughness. We did not just survive pain, we wrapped it in meaning, and meaning is load-bearing. It is the difference between a hurt that crushes a person and a hurt they can stand up under. So the next time you reach for the cabinet, notice what you are reaching past. You will not have to wait out the hurt for weeks. You will not chew bark and hope or lie still while people you love keep watch and keep the fire and carry you because you cannot carry yourself. The pain will end on a schedule quietly, with no one needing to stay. That effortless relief is the inheritance, built on thousands of years of people who could not switch the pain off, and so learned instead every other way a human being can be carried through it. The body's own flood, the bark from the tree, and above all, the hand that does not let go. But somewhere very far back, a person lay hurt and certain it would not stop, and the thing that got them through the night was not a remedy at all. It was someone choosing to stay beside them in the dark. We found the chemicals later. The first thing that ever truly eased human pain was another human refusing to leave.